NFL loses a lawsuit on the Sunday ticket case, something that you and I didn't talk about in pre-production, so I'm kind of throwing you a curveball here, Russ. Sorry about that, but something that I think definitely needs to be talked about. This is going to impact us, right? If you were a Sunday ticket buyer, you're going to get part of a class action lawsuit. You're going to get a nice check in the mail eventually. But I think what's happening is so many people are rushing to judgment around the internet and on radio, talk radio today, talking that, oh, this is going to be devastating for I just don't see it that way. First of all, they're going to appeal. They have the best lawyers in the world. They're going to appeal. They're going to drag this out as long as they can. It's not like the NFL owners lost this case. Now they got to cut a check tomorrow. That's not going to happen. Okay, it's going to take a long time. In between now and then, when it does finally happen and they have to cut a check, they're going to come up with so many ways to pay for this. Guess who's going to pay for it? We're going to pay for it. They're going to say, okay, well, we'll raise concessions this much, parking this much, and jerseys this much, and we'll charge the TV stations this much. And by the time it's all paid for, this whole class action lawsuit is not going to come out of those fat cats' pocket. Promise you. That's how business works, folks. But it is a substantial amount of money. They say each team may end up paying as much as $100 million. Sure, they'll find a way to cover those costs. But as a part of this, too, this is going to be and this is just my prediction and my speculation. I didn't hear this anywhere. This is just what I came up out of my little pea brain today. And that is, this is going to be the excuse to call a new collective bargaining agreement. The new collective bargaining agreement doesn't come again until 2030. But Roger Goodell has already planted the seed 2 years ago that he wants an 18-game schedule. We're already seeing all kinds of reports floating out how they not only want to run to an 18-game schedule, they want to run the Super Bowl, push it back to President's Day weekend, so there'll be a national holiday right after the Super Bowl, which will be good for Super Bowl parties and Super Bowl merchandise and all of that. So they're already pushing to that, but they can't do any of that without the players' consent, the NFLPA's consent. We will get our good friend Mark Schmidt, NFLPA member, on this show, I promise you, before all of that shakes out, to see where this money's going to come from. If you want to go to 18 games, you're going to have to get that by the players, and you're going to have to pay. And they're going to lay down some rules and say, if you really want, because the players do not want this, but they're going to have to make it worth their while. And if they can get the players to buy into this, this is another way they're going to come up with paying for this lawsuit. What do you think of all of that, Russell?
It kind of reminds me of the stimulus checks. You know, you want to go out there and, you know, you want to, everybody gets hooked up a little bit for right now. And, you know, everybody's dancing in the streets for about 24 hours. And then the rent gets due on the back end, and then all of a sudden you go, why am I spending $3.25 on a loaf of bread? Well, because they gave a whole bunch of money away. Well, this is the exact same thing that's going to happen with the NFL ticket. They're going to win this lawsuit, and a whole bunch of money is going to get shelled out, and you're going to get your $38.28 check, and they're going to raise the prices on everything. You know, congratulations.
Well, Russ, I love that you said that, because that is what most class action lawsuits is when you have so many participants. But
right,
they said the numbers right now, if it were to be resolved right now with the numbers they have, each ticket member is looking at over $5,000 right now. But this is how they work. This is how class actions work, right? The lawyers hold all the money, and then they hold it for like 2 years, waiting for other people to claim their chunk of it. Right? So, I mean, this isn't going to be resolved anytime soon, but believe me when I say the owners are going to find a way to pay for it, not themselves.
That's right.
We want to know what you think as we are about to roll into our top 11 linebackers in the NFC, but we do have a couple topics there that you can kick around if you like. But without further ado, let's get this list started.